Hi everyone, today we are looking at the Transactions tab. So one thing you will notice is that you have on the left-hand side all the different types of transactions that you can review, explaining shortly, and on the right-hand side a series of ranges that you can have displayed for the recent transactions that your account has performed or that you have performed. And I have mine clicked to 90 days so that we can look at the period because something very interesting happened here. So you can see that the my own account had transactions because I was given a dividend. So this mutual fund from Vanguard as well as ExxonMobil. So ExxonMobil, the dividend was for $39, and then it was taken out of my account, so it was reinvested, right? So it was a transaction. So negative 39.79, which bought automatically reinvested into uh, basically one share of ExxonMobil. Now, if you notice, the 39.79 is how much the dividend actually was. If we go back to the summary tab and we click here and we click the estimated annual income, remember by clicking that we were given a PDF that looked like this. And you can see that the dividend for ExxonMobil was 41. So this was an estimate, and it says it as much in the estimated annual income. This report is strictly an estimate of the dividend and interest to be paid. And sure enough, the estimate was higher than what the dividend turned out to be. So we go to transactions, and we see that the dividend was slightly less. And now we're going to take a look at the nuts and bolts of the different types of transactions that are displayed for us. Now, depending on the complexity of your account, most of these will probably be blank. For example, I do not have any FX trades. Now, you're going to see why once I explain what some of these complex transactions are. So here are all the different types of transactions available to you in the JPMorgan Chase Bank UInvest trading platform. In this tutorial, again, we are going to be reviewing these, and so I've taken the liberty of explaining some of what I thought were the more confusing ones. And as I say in every video, full disclosure, I am not a financier. I am not an accountant. I do not work for a bank. I am not licensed to sell securities or anything like that. I am just a person who uses and enjoys the JPMorgan Chase Bank UInvest trading platform. And so these definitions I took straight from investopedia.com and wanted to share those with you. So a transaction without sweeps. A sweep is a sweep account is a bank or brokerage account that transfers money automatically from one account to another. So for instance, as we mentioned in the summary video, sometimes when you have cash or sweep funds, the sweep funds are cash that you have that gets automatically put into another account that can yield a higher dividend for your cash. And so as you see here, commonly the excess cash is swept into a money market fund. So this is something that is done secondarily to the primary trade. Now, a money market fund is a kind of mutual fund that invests in highly liquid near-term instruments. These instruments include cash, cash equivalent securities, and high credit rating debt-based securities with a short-term maturity. Now, something that was not clear to me was a near-term instrument, which basically is a short-term instrument. It's just, I guess, another word for it. And short-term just means something that lasts for 1 year or less. Conversely, a long-term means lasting several years. So that is a transaction without sweeps. Now, as I said before, I do not have any FX trades in my UInvest account because that basically means Forex, so foreign exchange. FX are foreign exchange trades in a marketplace where national currencies from all over the world are traded. And so obviously this makes the Forex market the largest and most liquid market in the world. Again, this is straight from Investopedia. And there are trillions of dollars traded every day. This is basically the global marketplace. And so the Chase Bank UInvest trading platform allows you to make those trades, apparently, and to view your transactions. Now, this is also something I touched on in the summary tab video when we were looking at some of those journal entries that we could make on our own. My guess was that they were for non-traded REITs. And so these are trades that are not listed on public ledgers or public exchanges and can provide retail investors access to inaccessible real estate investments with tax benefits. So these type of transactions are not listed in the common marketplace. But even though they are not listed, they still need to be registered with the SEC, the Securities Exchange Commission, because it is still a legitimate transaction that's taking place. And again, usually they take place between two parties that are already understood to be engaged in a transaction. This is not something that you put your house up and you're looking for a buyer. It's not something like that. And again, the REIT stands for Real Estate Investment Trust, which allows individuals to invest in large-scale income-producing real estate. REIT is a company that owns and typically operates income-producing real estate or related assets. And so those are the different types of transactions you're able to view in the JPMorgan Chase Bank UInvest Transactions tab. Other things you can view are security transfers, so any exchange of a stock or mutual fund. You can also view any investment fees that your account accrues. So if if your account is managed by a firm, they take a percentage of your earnings to pay those who are managing your account. Now, some of these are blank on my own account because as a retirement account, there really isn't a whole lot of transactions that I am doing, such as an ATM or debit card transaction on the retirement account. I'm not doing that. And so that's, a lot of these are largely blank. And so, I'm not writing any checks from my retirement account. I'm not paying any loans from my retirement account. But again, these are all the different options you have to view. Now, if we move on in the JPMorgan Chase Bank UInvest platform, there really isn't anything for me to show in the realized gain and loss tab because again, this is a retirement account that I'm not really, taking money out and realizing the value of the mutual fund or stock yet. What you can also do, moving on to the balances tab, is view the value of your account on more of an accounting spreadsheet. Now, if I click the details drop down in the balances tab, it will take me to this page here where I can see a wealth of information on the market value, equity, and other types of information, sweep money fund information. These little I information bubbles give a wealth of information. So for instance, this is where you can learn what some of the other securities are. ETFs, we haven't talked about any of these types of securities yet, which we will when we review the trade tab, which will come after this tutorial. And other things that we can look at, for example, are cash and money funds available to trade, which gives all kinds of information. And so these little I dots really can explain piece by piece what a lot of these different breakdowns are. LBD values reflect the last business day's closing balance, positions, and prices, for example. And some of these obviously repeat themselves. But if you are interested, you can look at your details in your UInvest account. So I hope you enjoyed reviewing the transactions tab, and we didn't have much to show in the realized gains and loss tab. And then we touched on the balances details sheet just to see more of the nuts and bolts of the Chase Bank UInvest trading platform. So stick around for the next tutorial where we begin exploring all of the fun stocks and mutual funds. So thank you for watching this third tutorial of the Chase Bank UInvest trading platform, and I will see you when we talk about trades. Take care.